There's Carol.
Hello.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Carol, Tracy?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, there's Bob.
Hello.
Bob, are you at work? Or is that your house?
It's my studio.
Okay. I was just looking at all the ceiling stuff. I don't remember seeing that.
Oh, yeah, I've been over here a few times in the yeah, it's just an old warehouse in Maplewood, so you're seeing like a shot of the roof.
Yeah.
Okay, too much roof. All right. So is everyone here, or are we waiting on some folks?
On Angela and Ken.
Oh, okay.
Can you see Carol and, oh, there's, I think
Okay,
there's
I see.
our council person.
Emerson.
Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. How about you?
Oh, fine. Just need a break
Good.
from Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
Golly. Yeah. I have a conflict at 5:30 with you guys, but look like you got a light agenda anyway today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fairly light. There's Angela.
Mm-hmm. So Kelly, are you the only one on with the city tonight, or
No,
is?
no, Will's here too,
Oh, okay.
so. Looks like Ken's loading up there. Ken, can you hear me? You're on mute.
That better?
Oh, there you go. We can hear you now. Okay, it looks like we're all here.
Buttons.
All right. We'll start the work session then. Looks like most of our projects are pre-approvals. Everyone got a copy of the comments, so we'll be prepared when the meeting comes. But there are two which we need to discuss. The first one is 660 Amelia. And I guess I can start with Tracy. Did you have any comment on that one?
Yeah, my comment was, I was wondering if there's any way to add windows to that kitchen to help break up the siding on that west elevation. If they're open to that. That was all.
And how about you, Carol?
I had the same comment about adding some windows or other architectural elements to help break up at least some of that large expanse of siding at the west elevation at New Addition. And then also to enclosing the deck area, the area below the deck with some sort of decorative enclosure.
Okay. Ken?
I had it approved or submitted. I'm trying to find the drawings to see what you're referring to when it comes to the kitchen windows. So give me a minute or go past me and I'll catch up with you.
Okay.
Got it.
And
Okay.
Angela?
I have the same comment, that west elevation there, it's could use something else of some sort. A window or something, like Carol said, maybe an architectural feature if they don't want a window in that area, but a little something to break up that side.
Okay. Yeah, I had the same comment, windows on the west side. I also was, looking at the plan and wondering if they looked at least on the second floor, if they considered, windows on the sides in bedrooms 3 and 4, which would provide light on 2 sides within the spaces and then, also help break up some of the facade on the, especially the west side. And I had the same comment about the kitchen, so.
I wouldn't-
And- Go ahead, Ken.
No,
Yep.
I'm caught up on this now, yeah. I figured you people were gonna come up with the window on the kitchen, but I just have to think the function of the kitchen's gonna override that. And it's where it's located on the house or whatever, from the casual eye, from a street view and everything else. Nobody's ever gonna walk by and know there was or wasn't a window there, so if they wanna redo their kitchen arrangement to get a window over the sink, that's fine, but if this is the kitchen they want, I wouldn't require them to put a window in there. And as far as your comments go on the additional windows in the bedroom, they have a pair of windows on the rear of the house. So you're talking about just doing 2 separate windows on 2 separate walls, or you're talking about adding a third window?
I think I'm open to any of those.
And again, on that point, I would defer to them if they did what they did and they've got 2 windows in the room, and they're doing that for placement of furniture, whatever. Again, I'm not gonna rock the boat on it, so I'm still approved to submit it, I guess is what I'm saying.
All right, so there we go on Amelia. And we have one more to discuss, which is 436 South Park. I guess we can start with Angela. Any comments?
Just a second, let me see here. Oh, I didn't see the materials. And I don't think I saw what materials were going to be used here. Not sure if that was something we got in one of the emails. But that was my comment on the materials. You know, then there is the enclosure of the space below. I'm not sure, you know, if that's the actual height. That's a little bit iffy on leaving that space open or not open. That's it.
Okay, Carol?
I just had a question about verifying the style of the railing system that's going to be at the egress well. It's not shown on elevation, but it is shown in plan. So I don't know if the intent is to match the deck railing style, but that was a question that I had. And then also to close off the area below the deck.
All right, Ken?
I'm trying to find the window well here to see what your comment relates to.
It's an egress well.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. And you say they're showing a rail on the plan, huh?
Yeah, there's a railing system on the plan. around the perimeter and at the stair, but there, it's not shown in elevation. And I didn't see any notations about that. What it actually is, what the design is and what the materials are.
I didn't really realize there was a rail around there, but I'm sure, I guess it's get clarification. We want it consistent with what's going on the porch, I guess. So, okay, I get that. What do they put a lattice under that particular porch? It's not a big deal on my end, one way or the other.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be lattice. If they wanted to do something that was a more contemporary style in keeping with the addition, that would be fine as well.
That's a good point, because I think kind of a classic lattice probably is inconsistent with the addition. Looking at it, because of the gradation of it and the distance from the street and the fact that it's not all that large, if they didn't do a lattice, it wouldn't rain on my parade is what I'm trying to say. So those are my comments.
Thanks. Tracy?
Yeah, I didn't really have any comments on this one, but bringing up the railing is a good point. We should discuss that.
Mm-hmm.
I was approved to submit it on this, except I didn't recognize the fact there was no railing there too. So I think the railing comment on the well is valid.
Yeah. For me, it was just materials. I just didn't know what they were, so. I didn't really have anything else. All right. So everything else is a pre-approval, and we have 19 minutes.
I wanted to, if I could, kick back to that 649 Kirkham, which is kind of that mid-century house. I can almost see that I can almost see that deck as kind of floating the way they presented it originally. I'm a little afraid you're gonna create kind of a snowplow effect if you put anything below there. So again, I was approved to submit it on this project. I think that's still where I'm gonna be. So if anybody wanted to change their position and let it be just that kind of floating deck edge, because the edge of the deck is cantilevered out. I think that works pretty well just the way they presented the thing. So.
Yeah, my comments on that one were just the railing system, which we got clarification on. I was okay with it open as well.
I prefer it open, I guess. And it's their call, so I'm gonna go with their call.
Yeah.
You know, I drove by there, and if you look at the site plan, there is a street that runs right behind there, and the rear elevation is very clearly visible from the street. And there's also, not shown on the site plan, there's a perpendicular street that as you drive down that street, you are looking right up underneath that deck. So I appreciate the comment about, you know, it is more of a contemporary style. That's why, you know, my comment was, you know, just add something to screen that view a bit. It doesn't have to be something solid or aggressive looking. It can be something that is, you know, once again, in keeping with the style of the house, but with the slope of the grade and the fact that it is a predominant view right when you drive down that street and you are looking up underneath the deck. That's why it's more of a site sensitivity issue. If it was a different placement, a different site, but it is a predominant view from two streets.
Well,
That's good to know.
do the design, and I have to think the people are probably going to landscape it accordingly. I think, again, I just think closing that off is just going to eat up the whole direction they're going in. And it's gonna create kind of a mass that doesn't need to be there. I would just trust them that they're gonna landscape the thing and everybody will be happy.
I don't know if we can trust landscaping though. It's temporary, comes and goes.
We're a nice community with nice people.
Hey, Ken, when you turn away from your computer screen, I'm losing your audio. So could you kind of talk directly toward your computer? I didn't hear what you said.
Pages all around me, so I'm kind of looking around. I
Okay.
said it's a well-executed design as is, and I would think, you know, I'm going to trust these people that they're probably going to landscape it, and your concerns would be abated in that sense.
Well,
I think putting that mask below it is the appropriate thing to do here. That's just where I'm coming from.
my point of view on landscaping is that we don't know for sure that's the intent. And landscaping sometimes doesn't get installed, or it dies, or maybe it's deciduous and it's only effective screening certain months of the year. So I don't know that we ought to be relying upon landscaping when architectural elements would handle it 12 months a year.
Okay, but I'm comfortable with the design, with or without landscaping. That's where I am, so.
Just as a point, these folks, this situation, they've already agreed to the clarifications, and they've already been told that no discussion would be going on for the project tonight. So, it's kind of a set situation. They've agreed to it and are comfortable with it. And that's why they're not even on, they won't even be on to listen tonight.
Right.
So we've already notified them.
But that in itself presents kind of an issue here, because it appears to me what happens sometimes is we get five comments are sent in, 4 of them can be approved as submitted. One person makes a comment, that comment goes to the client. And is it presented to the client that the other, whatever?
Every comment that you guys make is presented to the client.
Okay, so if nobody made a comment or approved as submitted, they're told that.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, they are presented with everything that you guys say.
If a member says approved as submitted, is the resident made aware of that position?
Yeah, they're made aware, like if you said you were good with everything,
Mhm.
that comment is presented to them, just like the other, anybody else.
Okay,
That you are in agreement with the design as it is.
Yeah,
That
well,
comment is given to them,
all right. So
as well as the other comments that,
So in this particular case, there was one comment about the screening, or 2 or 3, or what?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't have it in front of me. That's something Mara presents to each of the clients, each of the applicants.
I just want to make sure we're not some kind of
But she does a comprehensive,
squad here where.
she gives a very comprehensive,
Okay, well, I'm happy
telling
to-
of what everybody has said.
Okay. All right. Well, and just because they've already agreed to it doesn't compel us not to say we like the original design either at the meeting, I guess. So, I'm not trying to make a.
I know. But if you want to discuss it further with her, that's your prerogative.
That's fine.
Okay.
My position is pretty clear. I think the design was great. I don't think it needs to be amended. And believe me, I know, I have every confidence in the world it'll be fine with or without the landscaping, and I'm sure these people will do a knock job on landscaping.
Just
Okay.
vote your conviction. That will do it for us.
Mhm.
So, not to talk about this too much, but I would assume that the screening would be, it's going to be back where the framing is. So the deck will overhang no matter what. So, right? It's not gonna be like stuck way out there, hanging off the end. So kind of fits in with the stair and all. Horizontal screening would actually look quite nice.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Especially because of the way it's sit on the site.
Give it a completed appearance.
Yeah, it sort of grounds it, connects it back to the house. So I think
Yeah.
it's an improvement. I'm not sure, you know, to Ken's point, but obviously that's been pre-approved, so it is a little, I guess, one disadvantage of the Zoom.
It is.
You could
But
still vote against it if you wanted.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. It's not happening in real time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Since we do have some time, I'll just bring up one comment that I had on 133 Webster Woods, just so it's clear when we come to vote. That comment was just in response to the porch rendering little image on the front page. Looks like there's a little sliver of brick that would be exposed once they take that panel or whatever is up there now. And I was just worried about that brick not being looking that good and just tying it into the overhang a little bit more. So the comment was just to have a piece of trim cover up that existing brick above the door.
Are you suggesting a panel above the door that goes all the way up to the roof of the porch?
Yeah, just to kind of cover up that brick.
Clarify, 'cause I don't know if you want the siding running through there either, so.
Yeah, I don't think they're adjusting the siding at all. It's just that little sliver right there.
It's
Mm.
very awkward.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see, yeah. I was looking for the rendering.
Seems like you would, it's one of those things, if you cover up the brick, no one would think anything about it. If you leave the brick there, everyone will notice the
Right.
brick.
Yep.
It'll kind of stand out.
Yeah.
Because it's such a contrast.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have to cut the siding to install the brackets anyway, aren't they? It's easy to just do a path, put the
Mhm.
black panel under the roof, wouldn't it? So from the brick all the way to the underside of the roof would just be a panel, right?
So I think, well, if they're keeping the siding there,
How they do that's up to them.
yeah.
I'm with you. As long as they get the brick out of action, that's the important part.
Yeah, that way it looks all grounded in one piece.
Doesn't look quite so much like it was added.
Tacked on, yeah.
What time is it? 23, okay. We need to have shorter pre-meetings because we can't seem to fill up 30 minutes. I'm gonna run and check on my spaghetti. I'll be right back.
That sounds pretty good.
Is that for everybody?
All right.
Is anyone tuning into the Maybeck presentation from the AIA tonight?
I saw the notice for that, but wasn't gonna attend.
Yeah,
Are you joining that?
I think so.
Yeah. What time does it start?
Yeah, that's what I was starting to think. I'm like,
Yeah, I
it either
think-
starts at 5:30.
Yeah, I
Or
think maybe I
6.
saw that and was like, well, I can't make that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little late.
Yeah.
Yeah, John normally does a really good job with those. I mean, so far the ones he's done have been
Mhm.
pretty nice, but
Yeah.
that's our other member.
Sorry, that's Ginger.
Ginger.
I'm guessing the mailman's here. I'd prefer him to come to just simply say hello to her, but
You guys aren't very chatty tonight.
Yeah. So I guess Kelly, you and Will, I mean, the last time it was just Mara, right? So you guys are trading spots or what?
Well, the last couple of times, I think there's been specific things that she needed to talk to you guys about. So she
Yeah.
just said, let us have the night off and took care of it herself. So, but she does an awful lot of meetings.
Yeah,
So we try to
Sure.
help her out as best we can. I'm curious, are you guys as busy as we are? I mean, it's not slowed down at all since all this has, the COVID stuff has been going on. In fact, I think it's gotten busier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would guess too.
Yeah,
People are sitting at home looking at their houses.
that's what we think.
yeah.
Are people doing a lot of outdoor spaces like decks and outdoor rooms and that kind of thing? Or is
Yeah.
it,
It's both. It's both. They're trying to get, larger interior stuff done, lots of bathrooms, lots of kitchens, large
Mhm.
projects. So it's been interesting. We kind of thought it would slow down, but nope.
maybe with everyone at home, more elbow room has become a higher priority?
Yeah, pools. I don't know how many pools we have had come in the door, and
Wow,
hot
that's
tubs.
amazing.
You
So,
can't find a pool contractor who can get to you within the year. It's unbelievable.
yeah, we've heard that too. And a lot
Mhm.
of homeowners as general are having to do their projects because they can't find general contractors to take on smaller projects. So
Yeah.
that's been interesting too. So, well, we're close enough. What do you say we start?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
We should have a couple people with us online, but they'll catch up if they're not online already.
Yeah, I've got 5 in waiting. So,
Okay, well, tonight then, the official meeting will begin. We finished the work session, so online tonight, we have Kelly Campbell and Will Penny with the city, and for the Architectural Review Board, Ken Burns, Carol Dunke, Tracy Collins, Angela Thompson, and Bob Buckman, myself. We will begin the meeting with review of meeting minutes from last meeting, which was the November 5th. Everyone's received a copy. I don't know if there's any comments.
I just have one minor comment on 15 Tulip. The trim referenced is located at the top of the second floor.
Did you get that, Will? Yeah. Okay, we got it.
Okay,
All right. Anything else? Hearing none, do I have a motion? Or
I'll make
besides
a
what
motion.
Carol said, yeah.
yeah, to approve the minutes as submitted with the clarification on 15 Tulip. The reference trim is located at the top of the second floor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Meeting minutes approved. Next, we have our pre-approvals. So as I call them off, if members would please refer to the pre-approval comments in the motion. First is 871 Atalanta. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 871 Atalanta with the understanding that the area under the rear covered deck will be enclosed with similar lattice to the front porch, and the exposed concrete foundation will have textured or hand rubbed finish.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? That's 5 of us. And we're approved. Next, we have 133 Webster Woods. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to pre-approve or to approve 133 Webster Woods with the clarification that there will be additional trim to hide any brick above the door that may be unsightly once exposed. The trim will be coordinated with the door trim.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? It is approved. Next, we have 649 West Kirkham. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 649 West Kirkham with the additional information of the railing system and clarification of the posts being aluminum and the area under the deck to be enclosed with either a fascia board or lattice in keeping with the design of the house.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed. I think it's okay without it. So
All right, so 4, it is approved. Next, we have 1121 Drayton. Do I have a motion?
1121.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Is not, yeah,
Removed.
they removed from the agenda.
Thank you. All right, next we have 126 West Jackson. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 126 West Jackson as submitted.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? That is approved. And the last one, which in my opinion might win the Facelift of the Year award in Webster Groves. I drive by this all the time. No, 3201 South Brentwood. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve is submitted per the updated packet dated 11/17/2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? We are approved there. Okay, for our first discussion, 660 Amelia. Kelly, do we have someone to join us online?
You're here for 660 Amelia, please raise your hand. Okay. I've got Katie. Are you there, Katie?
Hi, how are you?
Okay. Katie is online to discuss.
Hi, Katie. Are you the homeowner or the architect?
I'm with Jim Bolesky Architects.
Okay, great, thanks.
Do we have someone else? Looks like there's two hands.
Oh, I just saw the second one. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the homeowner may be on.
Hi.
Are you there, David? Oh. Where'd he go?
His name is showing on my screen, but he was muted. Oh, there he
Okay,
goes.
there you go. Okay. Is this David?
It is. Hi.
Okay, all right, you're there. They can hear you.
Hi, David. Are you with the architect or homeowner?
I'm the homeowner.
Okay, well, welcome. Katie and David, we had a few comments. I think I'll just do as we did in the pre-meeting, start with Tracy.
Yeah, I think one of the comments you may have heard us discuss earlier is just trying to break up that expanse of siding on the west elevation. There were a couple options that we talked about, perhaps maybe adding a window within the kitchen or some sort of architectural feature on the exterior, just to help break that up, and possibly adding some windows to the second floor bedroom.
Yeah, that was something we had considered, but we have a space limitation here and we have so many windows in this house as it is. I think if you saw the site, it would probably change your opinion on that. I'm about 3/4 of the way down a pretty steep hill, and my neighbor's house is about 7 feet away from me. So my west windows look directly into a big blue wall. So they have very few windows on their east elevation, and the few that I have on the west side are basically curtains have to be closed the whole time for any privacy at all. And you're looking straight into, like I said, a blue wall. I don't know if you can see on the Zoom. I have a picture of it here. If anybody can see through, I don't know.
I think we can see the house in that front existing front photo as part of the packet.
Yeah, and so we have, like I said, we have a lot of windows going in. There are 2 additional windows going on the west side, but the main windows we wanted were in the back, so we have the view of the green space in the backyard. And so having all the big windows on the back, it kind of limits the wall space in here and the kitchen, cabinet wall and everything. So we preferred, keeping the windows in the back as opposed to the west side.
I'm gonna go with David. I'm with them all along anyway, but I think you've clarified what you've done and why you've done it. And I don't, those windows on the side of the bedroom's necessary. I think a window on the side of the kitchen's gonna screw up your whole kitchen arrangement, so.
Right.
Perhaps some windows on the second floor would help relieve things a bit. And I do appreciate what you're saying about the site and the proximity of your neighbor. So maybe a couple of windows in the bedroom on the west side, but perhaps higher windows about the size of perhaps the top sash of the adjacent window. That would help break that up a little bit. You get some natural light on 2 sides of that bedroom and help at least bring some relief to that expanse of siding. Perhaps that's something that could be considered.
There are 2 windows going on that west side on the second floor. There's one in the laundry room there, and there's one going in on the bathroom. But again, on that, on the bedroom, that's where the bed wall will be. And so the reason we didn't want to put one there is because we didn't want to put a bed in front of the window. That's basically the arrangement we have on the existing bedroom number 1 that we don't really like. And, actually, if I had my way, I'd probably close off another one of those windows because it's on that west side, because it's all glass almost. There's no wall space in the bedroom. And so I'm trying to avoid that same thing on the new bedrooms. The back wall is primarily glass, so it's a lot of windows on the back, and it will bring in a lot of light. But on that that west wall, we just preferred having it wall space for the house.
Do you have the plans in front of you, David?
I can get them. I don't have them with me right now. I can,
Let me just kind of talk through it so you don't have to run and make a trip. Perhaps this will help clarify things a bit. On your second floor electrical plan, there is dashed in the location of a bed right in the center of that west wall.
right,
And the windows that I'm talking about would be located on either side of the bed, not directly above the head of the bed, and they would be higher windows. So you could certainly put a night table there with a lamp on it and still not have any or much interference at all with the windows overlap. And also the way those closet doors open, it's highly unlikely that you would be able to have a piece of furniture next to the bed on the closet side, or your closet doors won't open. So I think there is an opportunity there for an opening that would not interfere with your proposed bed placement.
I mean, I understand where you're suggesting it. I just prefer not to do it there. But, you know, it's not, there's not a lot of wall space there on that wall. I mean, these bedrooms, I mean, we're limited by space. We can't go back. If I could go back 5-10 feet farther in the house, you know, I would put more windows on that side, but with the space limitation, I just prefer to have the wall space.
I guess I'm not understanding how the wall adjacent to the closet would be utilized for anything and still be able to open the closet door. But so I do think there is an opportunity there. And perhaps if you're opposed to windows, maybe some other architectural elements could come into play to help break up that expanse of siding.
Well, I mean, again, that's an area that if you walk, it's like an alley in between the two houses, and my neighbors have a lot of vegetation grown in there, so it is a compact space, and it's not going to be seen by anyone. So, like I said, for personal preference, you know, for the bedroom, we were trying to avoid having as many windows in the bedroom as we have in the other ones.
And then I also had an additional comment about just enclosing the area below your deck in the rear,
Yeah,
just to give it a more finished look.
no, I 100% agree on that. That's going to be done.
Okay.
It'll likely match the front. That was in the plan. I mean, I don't know if it was in the written plan, but that was in my plan.
Okay, clear enough.
Yeah.
Which we will add before we send it for permit.
Hey, Katie, could you speak up a little or because I didn't hear what you said?
We will add that deck enclosure prior to sending it for permit.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Anything else, Carol?
Those were my comments.
All right. How about Angela?
I agree with the notion that the west elevation could use some windows there. That's a lot of siding in that area. There's something, it could use something to differentiate it. I don't know what you might want to do, but just to break it up, some trim, you know, maybe you could even put, I don't know, something, just to break it up a little bit. One thing I also would like to mention that I notice on these plans here once in a while, you might want to make sure that your refrigerator door is open and you can actually pull out the drawers, because you can't usually put a full depth refrigerator adjacent to a wall like that. Just might want to check it.
Okay.
So when you can't open your crisper drawer, you'll be disappointed.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Angela?
No, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I think, you know, for some reason, every time I see a kitchen and someone says that there's no room for walls because there's cabinets, I don't really understand, because I've designed so many kitchens and I have a kitchen of my own. It's got so many windows right in front of the stove, in front of the sink. you just put cabinets on each side of it. So I never really understand the comment that it's gonna mess up the kitchen. Same thing with the bedrooms, the idea that you can get light in on more than one side of a room. When you walk into that room, it's just a more, it's got a lot more, I don't know, I guess character because of the way the sun moves. So you get a lot more variety of sunlight. When houses are close by or you're staring at a blank wall, to me, that's not the reason to not put a window in a house. Myself, personally, that's what I believe. You look at a house from all four sides and look at the character of it, and I think your house has a lot of nice windows and variation. There's a couple little blank spots here and there. So, I understand that not all the houses have windows everywhere, but I do think the west wall is a little blank for me. I would like to see something in the kitchen or in the bedroom. That's kind of where I'm at. I think both bedrooms would benefit from a window, whether it's something small, up against the wall in the corner, so it doesn't interfere with the bed. Again, I don't know. I've designed plenty of homes that have windows above the bed too, so I never quite understand that that's the driving force to not put a window in myself. But yeah, that's basically my comment. I think the west elevation could benefit from something, window, something to break it up, and the east, whether it's important to the east wall or not, it's not as big of a deal for me. So that was it. That's my comment. All right, so anything else from board members?
I guess before we move to a vote or decide what we're doing, I just wanted to open it up to Katie, maybe if you had if a window is not something you want to do, is there something else that you might want to propose us to consider?
I think the only reason I would tend to hesitate with any sort of like a band board type of trim is that there are no band boards on the existing house. It's siding the whole way up. I do hear where you all are coming from with the windows on the west wall. Given that it is downhill and so close to the neighbor, I'm not sure that a window on the west wall is going to add light into the spaces. I'm not sure that I have any brilliant ideas right now of what to do to break up that wall, but I'm hesitant to commit to anything given that my client is not interested in windows on that side.
I would make the comment that we can talk about windows here, we can talk about windows there, but if you look at what was presented, this design does meet the basic threshold of approval by this board. You want to suggest windows, fine, but I think this window on two sides of the room is a great suggestion, but when you start inflicting it upon people who don't want it, and in this particular case, nobody's going to know whether that window's there or not. The casual eye, the casual car going by, the casual pedestrian walking by, it's not critical to the point where I'm going to support inflicting that onto the people who own this property. No, maybe I do something.
All right, so any other comments from the board? And if not, then I think I guess we have to vote. So do I have a motion?
I would make a motion to approve as submitted with the clarification that the homeowner is agreeable to putting lattice matching the front porch around the back porch.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed.
Opposed.
Uh, I'm opposed.
All right. Um, always forget what, at this point, it looks like it's 3-2. 2 are okay with the way it was presented with the lattice work and 3 are not. So I was sorry, I'm sorry, Kelly, you'll have to expand on
Oh.
what the rules are.
Well, basically, it's the vote is to disapprove more, of the submitted proposal, so they can come back with something we can give, you guys can give them specific things.
Right, that's,
That,
thank
that
you. That,
that you
that-
want
that's-
them to come back with some alternative to
Right.
address the, the
Wouldn't we
things
simply
that you don't.
motion, vote on another motion?
Yeah, so I think that's right. So we'll just add the comment.
Motion, we vote on it, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Well, a motion was made, we voted, it wasn't approved.
Right.
Somebody can make another different motion and we can vote on it right now. We don't have to wait 2 weeks or do this, that, and the other thing, do we?
Well, if they want to, agree to some of the options that you all mentioned about
Right.
windows, then you can vote to do that
Yeah,
if you want to change it, but they would have to agree to, to some of the suggestions that you all mentioned. And that is up to them as to whether they would like to do that.
right. I mean,
To
I'll
give a
just,
yes vote.
right.
Well,
So
I
we,
mean, the issue about if you're gonna inflict them having to add windows, do they now have the option of taking their paired window in the rear and making that a single window? A lot of things can happen here.
yeah, I think we can just add the comments to the meeting minutes that the west elevation could use some more either their windows or some other architectural detailing to help break up the siding, all the blank siding.
If we
I
want to
think
do
the-
that, and then they can come back tomorrow with the changes or the additions, and she can administratively approve it at that point.
There
Or,
you go. Yeah, so I think, something, an element in the kitchen or adding a window to the second floor, I think what was suggested.
Mhm.
And so I think that makes it pretty clear if we add that to the,
I mean, just so you're aware, there's far more windows on my west elevation than on my neighbor's east elevation. And like I said, it's like walking down an alley.
yeah,
So I'm kind of confused as to why you want to force me to put a window in where it benefits
Well,
no
it's not-
takes away my neighbor's privacy.
yeah. It's not really, the suggestion is to help break up that siding. There's a lot of blank wall on that. And so I think
There's
that
literally
what the
vegetation
board had,
going against that siding. So like my neighbor's trees will be pushing up against that siding. I have to constantly trim them back. Nobody will be able to see anything there except for trees.
I think David's made a good point here, and I don't understand our insistence.
okay, so,
Ways being treated, quite frankly, so.
okay. So I think David, the point I was trying to make was that we've made the suggestions, and I guess the vote has been made. So, you know, either considering windows or some architectural detailing to help break that up was what was thrown out. Not, you know, windows would be nice.
Yeah, and
A window.
I understand the suggestion, and like I said, if I had 5 more feet of house, I would love to put some windows over there. But given the space limitations and the size of those bedrooms, putting the, you know,
I know,
the windows
we're
in the back of the house are very large. I mean, we put
Right.
big windows back there on purpose because that's where we want the light to come in, and that's where we want
Sure.
the view.
Yeah, and I think a few of us made comments that, you know, you could look at a smaller window, something up high, or just to help break up the facade so that it wouldn't interfere with the furniture, but would add a little bit of an architectural element to help break that facade up. So, you know, I mean, it could be a small little square window up high. It could be a skinny window.
If we
It
put a window frame on the outside, would that
it could be-
satisfy you? Like a
it could
window
be,
frame, a window?
opaque glass. Yeah, and it could be opaque glass too if you're worried about privacy. So, you know,
Well,
I
like I
think
said,
there's some.
I think these things take away from the plan for the inside of the house. I mean, it's making.
I agree.
I think the point that might be need to be reiterated is that you can add architectural elements to the exterior that won't affect your interior plan.
Right, so that's what I'm suggesting. So if we put a window frame on the outside, so the 3 squirrels that are in the bush out there can see, you know, would that satisfy it?
Something along those lines.
Doing a window frame with a fake,
Right,
pseudo framed shuttered window, right?
yes.
Or some sort of infill
That no
panel,
one can see
whatever
except
that
the
was architecturally
trees.
pleasing is something that could be considered. You know, I think that y'all could maybe give it a little bit of thought and come back with something that would work for you. I think that the goal here is just to break up the siding, not necessarily to say you absolutely have to have windows. So that's the point, and I think you're heading in a good direction to consider some elements that don't necessarily interfere with your interior plans.
I would suggest that the walls as submitted will look better than if we start putting fake shutters on window frames on it. But if that's what it takes to get this guy approved, I guess you got to do it.
Okay.
I would prefer there not be anything fake. I don't think there's any reason to make something fake for just to say that's why it's approved. I think putting an architectural element or doing something that breaks up a great big wall of vinyl siding, that's just not attractive. And the rear of your current house aligns with the rear of the adjacent house. So your extension will extend past that house. It won't be right there next to it.
Right, but it's all overgrown, right? So it's all, you know, it's a wall of trees.
And those will always be there? You're gonna guarantee that?
Yeah, I know. So at this point, right, exactly. I mean, you know, people use landscape all the time as a reason that we should or shouldn't approve something. And we all know landscape changes, trees get torn down, plants die, you know, plants come and go. So that's, I do not judge architecture based on that, you know, is there a tree there or not? I judge it based on when I see, I'm like what Angela said, when you see a big, long, expansive blank vinyl siding, it's needs something. That's all we're saying. So, all right. I think we have to move on to the next one.
David, I know you're not going to do this, but just a reminder here, you have an option of appealing this to the council. I think this is pretty petty.
So this is considered a disapproval with recommendations.
Right.
You bring it back to the Planning and Development Office with some aspect of an architectural feature added.
Yeah.
We are, you know, we have the prerogative in planning and development to administratively approve it without it having to come back to the board. So that's something to consider and think about, and maybe call us in the morning and, or have Jim call in the morning and we'll have a discussion.
All right. Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah, we need to move forward.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Katie and David.
All right. Next we have 436 South Park.
So
Someone on the
raise
line?
your hand. Oh, I see. Tony, hold on.
You hear me?
I think that's
Great.
it. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Tony. Welcome.
Thanks. I heard your comments earlier with the pre-approval process and
Okay.
aware of the 2 items, or I think there's 2 items. You know, whenever I sent in that initial drawing, I apologize for the vagueness of it, but when it was brought to my attention, there needed more information. I actually completed this set pretty much. And then I sent in new PDFs and hard copies, but I don't know if everybody got it. But anyway, regarding the rails, you know, I was going with stain treated back there because we felt like we needed something more hardy, because the deck back there now, it's just, you know how St. Louis is, it can chew up material, you know, unless it's composite or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I thought if we chose a tasteful stain color, that might, and maybe even something that might bring continuity from the addition that's projected, and then to the right side and everything in between, trying to maybe bring, maybe even could be a really, really light clay color, you know, really, really like a tint of it that could tie that in, you know, maybe even a slight color to it, you know. But I'm not really a big fan of lattice, and I think even the homeowner's even a woodworker, and I could even suggest maybe going with like a, you know, a 1.5 90-degree lattice where he could actually even install it. But I was thinking, I wonder even, you know, I'm sorry I neglected underneath the deck because, you know, I was just tying what was there before, but it is quite exposed. I agree, but I wonder what it would be like. You could, you know, the house has 2 opposing architectural styles, as you can see from the front. You know, you kind of have we have this very traditional style to the left, and we could talk about the rail at the entry door. But to the right, it's kind of a postmodern kind of look, you know? So I brought that around and kind of play off of that, you know? And then, so I wonder if, I wonder what it would look like to actually even have siding around underneath the skirt. And that would really tie in. But that always seems to be real heavy to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit too bold. And I thought maybe, what about like 1x6 or maybe even 1x8, because it's quite a bit of height underneath there. Maybe the scale would help, where you could have like 1x8 and then a 1-inch gap and 1x8. And I think that would be a really cool, the house is kind of like a farmhouse in a way. You know how people add on, you know, and the house isn't exactly tied in perfectly, you know, and it's kind of a hodgepodge in a way. But I think that would kind of look cool. And that postmodern look with that horizontal lattice, horizontal 1x would be pretty cool. I think it would tie it in, right? I mean, maybe a band, it would kind of give it a band.
I
Yeah,
agree.
think that sounds great. I mean, you could, you know, have the horizontal and a space so it didn't look too massive. It wouldn't
Right.
look as massive as siding, and it would actually kind of tie the 2 styles together a little bit. So I think that sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
Right.
Just as a matter of clarification, Tony, I had a question about the railing system on your egress well
Right.
and the egress stair. Was it your intention to match that to the deck, or
Totally.
what's
Absolutely.
that going to look like?
Yeah, sorry about that. If my more complete set they sent in later addresses that. And the reason why I didn't show it at the rear elevation, because I wanted to show the walkout, you know, but I do show it in the new one. But yes, It's meant to tie into the deck, total continuity.
Okay, that's
Okay.
great. That was
Now-
my question. So it's the intent that that railing system will match the one on the deck.
Yes, yes.
Sounds
You
good.
know, that front entry, that rail there, that's, it's just there. I don't know what I could do to really tie into that. I hate to even tie in with the balusters. If you could look at that front elevation, sorry about it, it's not being, I guess you can see it. But it's just got a standard rail with some scrolling and, that's a little too traditional for me. I was trying to break from that a little bit around the back.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's-
maybe, you know what, and I'll suggest to them,
I'm sorry.
I'll suggest to them, maybe they could do something about that entry rail to tie in. They're very open. I was so focused on just the addition, but yeah.
Are you talking about making a change to the front entry rail?
No, but I'll bring those comments that maybe we might need some continuity. But I think, I was going to go with the metal balusters at least to help tie in with the front as it being metallic. But maybe I could do something that doesn't look too colonial because we're kind of switching gears. But I don't want to go modern, not even contemporary so much, but I got to work that out. I want to try to find some continuity, some balance. But I was just going to use a graspable top rail with metal balusters below, not even a bottom wood rail, maybe. I mean, I was trying to give it a little more metal.
I like that idea of the metal being the thing that ties the two together and the
Yeah.
styles being different, because you do have these two different parts of the house. Makes
Right.
it a little bit interesting, yet you kind of tie things together with materials. That's always a nice
Okay.
way to do it.
Yeah, and I'll just have them deliver the balusters in an assembly and they just slide it in, So I'll get the right profile that will help. Maybe, minus the scrolls in the front, maybe there's a baluster that I can tie into somehow visually. I'll make an attempt. I promise. I'm not gonna have like round tubed balusters, right up from Home Depot. I'll try to refrain from that. But it can't be too decorative, right? I mean, we're switching gears a little bit where it's a little cleaner and contemporary.
Simple.
Yeah, simple. Yeah.
Sounds good.
And I think what else? Yeah, it's the lattice and the rail, right? The two
Yeah.
exceptions. Okay. You got it. I'll get on it.
So is that something you're gonna bring back to us or what's going on here?
What would you like? Oh, would you like an actual sample?
No,
Or
I'm just,
revised drawing? The revised drawing?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'll get that done tomorrow. I'll send it off to you. Yeah. With the lattice, with the 1x8 lattice. You want me to show that, Ken? Yeah.
I guess you're gonna, I don't completely understand what you're doing, but yeah, I'm just asking, it sounds like you're leading up to the fact that you've got to qualify and finalize your design. Is that,
Right.
okay, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure what you submit is gonna be just fine and dandy.
Okay.
I don't know how we approve it till we see it. That's my,
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at. I don't
Okay,
think
and
any of
then
the,
we can do it administrative, maybe, like previous presentation. Like if I revise the lattice or the skirt and the rail, and can we do an administrative?
yeah, it's yes. So if the understanding is that you're gonna add 1x8 horizontals below the deck with a 1-inch spacing, and then your handrail system, guardrail system is going to be metal tubes is what I'm hearing. And the pickets are going to be metal as well. So your main supports and
Yeah,
the
the
infill.
balusters and the bottom rail, like that would be all black.
Yeah.
And you have your newel and your treated rail that kind of ties it in there.
Yeah. So to me, I think we could vote with that understanding. And then
Okay.
when you draw, when you make the revisions and send it into the city, they will review it to see if that in fact was
Oh,
what
yeah.
was done.
Right,
And
if
if there is any issue, they might circulate it back around.
Okay,
So I think we can do that.
okay.
All right. With that, I will ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 436 South Park as submitted, with the understanding that the area below the deck will be enclosed with horizontal 1x8s with a 1-inch spacing in between the boards. And that the railing system at the deck and at the egress well will match each other. The railing system will have metal balusters, top rail and bottom rail, and wood posts. Is that where we were going with that on the posts, just to clarify?
Right, I was gonna go with the wood top rail. But, yeah.
Okay, wood top rail, wood post, and bottom rail metal, balusters metal.
Yeah, black.
Great, sounds good.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And you are approved with that
Thank you, everyone.
stipulation. You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Tony.
All right. I think that's it. Meeting is officially adjourned. I don't think there's anything else. Kelly? See everybody after Thanksgiving.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Yep.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Guys.